It's finally here. Welcome to the Miracle Zone. More than a podcast, this is a sacred space for visionary leaders and heart-centered entrepreneurs who are ready to take off the masks, set aside the roles, and step into the raw, magical truth of what it actually means to lead in these transformational times. More than just building a business and a brand, you know that you're also here to share your medicine, lead a movement, and leave a legacy. If you've been craving next level conversations to get you to your next level, conversations that blend bold leadership, intuitive wisdom, and a touch of the miraculous, then you're in the right place. Because around here, we don't do things in a linear way. Whether you're already running a thriving business, leading a dream team, and impacting millions, or you're still on your way there, here we'll break free from the old ways of doing things and step into a multidimensional way of creating and leadership. Because in the Miracle Zone, we explore the intersection of business, leadership, and frequency. It's where strategy meets soul, and where visionary ideas become reality. And they happen in a snap. I'm Katarina, your host, guide, and bridge between the practical and the mystical in life and business. I'll share insights, channeled guidance, and heart-opening stories from pioneering leaders like you who are living at the edge and reshaping the way that we lead in this new world. So if you're ready to tap into your miracle frequency, to embrace the heart-led leadership that changes everything, then join me. Because this, my love, this is the Miracle Zone. I ask, I see, I know, I trust, I be. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Miracle Zone podcast. And I'm so excited to be here today with Maja, who is a Remembrance Alchemist, a Devotional Embodiment guide, and an origin codes keeper, and also a former criminal lawyer in her past life, current life, this life. How many lifetimes have we lived, Maja? Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here and to just have this opportunity to tune in together in this crazy time that we're in, a crazy time, evolutionary time, the times we came for, and to explore what that looks like for you as a leader in these times and leading in your miracle zone, and to give people a little bit of a behind the scenes of what that looks like. And also just to have this open space to explore, this moment and how we lead and what guidance and wisdom is here for us to emerge in this space, and also for everybody who's tuning in. So welcome, welcome to the Miracle Zone.
Thank you so much for having me. You know what you were saying just now about the times that we live in. There is all this, seriousness, and the field is so full. And yet, as I was just this morning preparing, I felt this childlike excitement and joy to connect with you and to dive in whatever wants to be talked about today.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That reminds me of, I mentioned actually, I think on the previous podcast episode, how to allow that joy to be present in these times is revolutionary. And I talked a little bit about that. So I love that you presence that. I think it is this. I think this is actually what the Miracle Zone is very much about, is as we're leading in these times, they're intense times, but that's why we're here. They're also magical, transformational, revolutionary times, also why we're here. And our work is to hold the both, holding the both as we navigate the duality of these times, knowing that there is illusion, but there is also the 3D, and we got to be a bridge between both. We got to have it a foot in one and a foot in the other.
and figure out how we walk as a bridge between the two. And the bridge is solid and real and sturdy and serious, but we can also like skip along the bridge.
Exactly.
It can be a rainbow bridge.
Exactly.
And holding the boat. I think that's the magic of being in the miracle zone. So I'm excited to jump in with you. And I wanted to first begin by giving you an opportunity to share a little bit about who you are and what you do through the lens of what you share about. So we've been dear friends for many years now. And lately, one of the things that you talk about a lot is origin priestess. And I see this in what you teach, in what you embody, and what you share. And so I wanted to give you a chance to just give us a little bit of an insight into what you mean by that and how that shapes, what you do and how you support others.
Yeah, thank you for this question. Yeah, so I'll just start with how this came to me and then who Origin Priestess is. So some years ago, when I was living in Portugal, in that time where we were also weaving together our lives, Origin Priestess came to me. One day she came to me, she said, I'm the Origin Priestess. I am the origin of the sacred feminine essence on this planet. You, like you, not me, but you people, you don't really know fully who I am, parts of me. So now, Maja, if you say yes to this, I will show you who I am fully. Beyond all the archetypes that you know, I am all of that and more. But in order to feel this in your body and to remember, you just have to release what you know and be willing to explore what it means to be the embodiment of the origin sacred feminine on this planet and in this time. Yeah, and then I said yes. First, I was like, me? What? What's this? What? You know how it goes. And then it started coming more and more. And then at some point, I was ready to start sharing about it. And I created this 13-week journey that I lead women through. And yeah, and we step into the temple of the origin priestess and we start remembering our origin priestess within. Who is she as she is expressed through us? Every woman is unique. Every woman is unique. If one is doing something, okay, you can look at her and be inspired, but doesn't mean that your expression is exactly like hers. Yeah, so in essence, this is it. And for me, the woman who remembers or feels the call of the origin priestess in this life is the woman who is called into leadership and service, specifically in these times on the planet. She is a bringer of remembrance. She is a living transmission and remembrance of the origin of who we are as humankind before the feminine was erased, before all the distortions were programmed into our lives and we forgot as humankind who we are. Yeah.
I love that. And I love what you shared about how it came about. I think this is where I get really the leadership and business dork in me comes out. That archetype from, ooh. So I'm trying to imagine what it was like for you, where you were when this transmission came through, when Origin Priestess presented herself to you. Because I have a similar experience. For me, it was working with the miracle frequency. All of a sudden, it was like, there is a frequency, and I was invited to share this story, because it was so strange, because I didn't do any music, or I didn't really work directly with sound besides just the light language and the light codes. And all of a sudden it was like, you're being invited to be the steward of this frequency and to broadcast it out in the world in a really interesting and uncomfortable to your human way. And are you a yes to it? And so I think as origin priestesses, we have these heart callings, these invitations, these remembrances, and we're invited to say yes to them, even when we don't know what it is, even though it doesn't make sense. And it's a choice, and it's a surrender, and it's all of the things. So I wanted to invite you to share a little bit more about the behind the scenes of where were you when Origin Priestess showed up and was like, hello.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was living in Portugal in the south at the time, and I had a monthly group of women. I was already doing this work, sharing about light codes and code keepers. And then was the day of our monthly call, and I was just anchoring that frequency and opening the space for the message. And then she came and she said that I am the origin sacred feminine. Are you willing to accept the mission? Are you willing to accept to be an emissary of the origin priestess? And I just said yes. And then it was so interesting before the call. And we know how this goes. The way you and me work, I know how you work. There is no specific plan. Everything is clear before we, let's say, deliver, I don't know, a call to clients or a group of clients. There is a structure, but there needs to be space where these things can pour in. And this time, I was used to working like this, but this time it was just empty and completely unknown. I was trying to decode the message before the call, and I just felt this is so new. It's so much vaster than what your mind is able to receive at this moment. But I said yes. And when we started that call, the human in me really felt the need to explain and not apologize, but really explain, I don't know what's coming today. Please just be open. I remember that I was over explaining a little bit because it was such a stretch for me. And I delivered a transmission, and the women, I had a small group for this monthly call. They were like, wow, they felt it. They felt it in their body. Because in the way I work, it's not that much about mental information, but about the energetic information that you are open to receiving and you feel it. It's a knowing in the body. It's a felt knowing, not a rational knowing. So that's how it started. But then I took my time because a lot of things were happening and I was not trusting. What is this? How do I present this origin priestess? Will anyone listen to me? La la la, all that chatter in the mind. So it took, I think, maybe 1.5 years to the first program that I did, the first journey, origin priestess journey. I took my time. I was slow. I also then moved to Slovenia, so there were many things going on. But then she just came to me and she said, if you're not doing this, somebody else will. It's okay. And I said, no, I want to do this. I'm ready. She was just that very calm message. If you don't want to do it, it's okay. I just go to someone else. It's fine. And then for me, it was, I did that before when I said, I'm not ready. But now I was, and then, I stepped into saying, yes, I will do it. And the program started coming through the journey, but in a completely non-linear way, as we know that it works. But it was the most non-linear, unpredictable, unknown journey of creating a tangible program that I ever experienced. And I think the way you described the miracle zone, that I was there when I was bringing this through. Yeah.
I love that. Exactly. I love that you said non-linear. I think that's the thing. It's like all of a sudden a creation exists and we're just like, how did you even get here?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing too is part of it is because it's very real to us and very palpable and lived, that it's not just us creating it,
Mhm.
but it's this
Yeah.
co-relationship. And I think sometimes it's very clear to us. You speak as if she was there creating with you. I think sometimes for others, it's more, I'm just going to say it again in case it cut out. So sometimes we feel like there's some energy or archetype or guide or somebody that we're working with. It sounds like she was speaking to you, but sometimes it's less defined than that. For some people, it's just an urge or a pull to create a thing, and we don't even know who we're co-creating with. We're just co-creating with the all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it takes a lot of trust and surrender and release, resistance there. And also there's massive blessing. So that's when I say the miracle frequency shows up. It starts carrying us. See that evidence too of being carried in the creation of our work. So I'm wondering what it was like once you finally said yes. Did it feel like all of a sudden things shifted in a positive way? Was there a rough patch? Was it miracles everywhere? Was it synchronicities? What then happened when you were finally like, okay, we're doing this?
Yeah. So mostly it was just a lot of stretching myself way beyond my comfort zone. And at the same time, I had just moved in this place where I am now. So finally, I had my own space, just a good and calm environment to create in. I was landing in this new expanded version of me. That was the very pleasant part. And the other part was, okay, first you need to let go of this group that I had, the monthly group. This was a clear message. You need to let go of this, you need to make space. And then I started receiving alchemy practices. Alchemy practices. And it was just do this, write it down every day. Do this, write it down. Do this, write it down. And I was receiving whole sequences of exercises to anchor your field and all the explanations with it. And I was just writing this down. I didn't know this was in this moment, this is what was coming. And the calling was just give yourself fully to this. And because of, what she said, if you don't say yes, I'm just going to go away. I said, I'm fully in. And I was just doing this and just being open for the next steps to come. And then I see one day a program or like a course to build your offering. And for some reason, I just felt called, okay, I need to sign up for this. I don't know, I'm signing up. And then this course led us through a very structured process of creating a course. And I was doing that, and there was the resistance. And there was the resistance in me that was coming up, which was very strong because I have not been friends with structure since I left my criminal law job.
That's such a beautiful way to put it.
It's like a kind way, a nice way to say it. But yes, structure has been, since leaving my criminal law job, really, I was just like pushing it away completely. So through this course, I had to put some structure to it. And then at the same time, when I started writing the course, I wrote it in 2 hours, the whole thing. And it was so different. It said, this is a temple. There are no modules. Every week you enter in a temple chamber that holds a specific frequency of a specific code. And this is what people are receiving. And then as we proceed, we go higher and higher in the temple all the way to the core temple chamber. where there is the final transmission, where the origin priestess is resurrected. And so I was just like, no modules, okay, just let's go like all the way out of any structure that I know. And I made just a completely open space. I said, I don't care how strange, unknown, unreasonable this might feel. As I'm writing it down, I'm just going to do it. And I did it. And I just had goosebumps all over. And it just felt right. And then part of that course that I did was also market research, talking to some women and asking them if they would do this journey. And what was just mind-blowing for me, that as I was telling them what this is, and again, I had to put myself really in my center so that I wouldn't try to rationally explain what the journey is, but just radiate that feeling, give them that feeling. And they were having goosebumps and the same reaction that I had. So I thought, okay, I think this is it. I think I was moving towards this my whole life. This feels natural, the way that I am creating, co-creating this, bringing this through. It feels natural. I'm not trying. It's not difficult. I'm actually not even afraid. It's just natural. This is just who I am. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And I loved hearing how it came through as you were getting practices, the alchemical practices, and then you were doing them. So it was literally a embodiment in the moment of it.
Yeah.
To put it out there. And that's one of the things I talk about that's really important when you're in your miracle zone. It's one of the, so I have this miracle business framework, and it's one of the pillars there is embodiment. And it's exactly this. It's not just, oh, I'm getting a transmission, this is a thing, and I'm creating the course, and there it is. It's no, I got to do the work. And that's why it lands so powerfully, and why we need to explain less, is because people see it in us and feel the frequency of it right away.
Yep.
And so it's a whole different way of doing sales and marketing and all of these things that we hear about in the business space. It's the embodiment and the energetic of it is like the number one thing that we keep coming back to. So I love that you share that. I'm curious if you can talk a little bit more, because I love, this is another theme I've seen again in your work over the years that I've known you come more and more front and center, is working with the body and embodiment and really anchoring. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about that and your journey in working with that, because when I first met you, I never heard you talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was not there.
All the time.
Yeah.
Working with the portals, doing all the things.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, oh my gosh, this is the thing. So I'd love to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, because actually that was one of the major keys that allowed me to bring Origin Priestess through. So yeah, like you said, before I was, working with codes and really staying in those upper realms. Even when I was working with clients, yes, I was transmitting this. People were tripping. Like I always say, if you do this, don't need ayahuasca, don't need anything, just stay out of your body. Then you're gonna be tripping the whole time.
It's so tempting to stay there.
It's so tempting.
It's so tempting.
Exactly.
Because we remember the truth of what it's like when we're not in our body. It's a different type of remembrance. There's nothing wrong with it.
So that's exactly it. What was my case, and what is the case of a lot of my clients. It's so tempting to stay out there and just connected to these higher frequencies and this knowing, and not be here and deal with feeling life, feeling the world, the pain, the chaos of the world. So I was on this journey And this was actually, when I arrived to where we met, and first we were all flying, but then something started just calling me in the body. I think it was time for me. I was ready. And my body started speaking to me. And she was saying, I am your vessel. You bring things into form through me, through the body. Because in that time I started being frustrated a bit with everything, with all my work being so intangible. I was like, I want to see results in actual life. I want to see things changing in life. Because before it was more on the spirit level that the shift was felt, but not in the material level. And and then I just said to my body, show me. I'm going to listen. Show me. And she started calling me more and more to dance. How it goes. When you are open to something, it will just come into your field and you will see it. And I started seeing some things and I'm like, okay, I'm opening that portal and that. And I just asked my body, that's how I do. And then she started telling me that she is origin technology. She is our sacred vessel. The body has what we need. And she holds so much trauma, all these uncomfortable experiences, memories from the lineage, not just from this life as well. We don't dismiss this life, but it's also past lives and memories of the whole lineage is stored in our cells. And it's being activated every time an impulse comes of danger, of war. All this trauma is activated in the body and freezes us. And and what I did and most of my clients, a lot of my clients do, we go out of the body where we are safe. Up there, we are safe. Up there, we are limitless. Up there, everything is available. Here, no. Here, we are vulnerable. Here, there is money. Oh my God, not enough money. We need to fight for money. We need to struggle. So through this journey, I really started working with my nervous system, just loving my body. And then came to me this concept of the sacred feminine trinity, which is my approach when I teach embodiment. I teach devotional embodiment, but okay, let me talk first about the sacred feminine trinity. So I was shown that for women, we have 3 main points that are crucial for embodiment: womb space, heart, and throat. So our womb as the portal where spirit comes through, where we birth spirit into form. And then this creation comes through the womb up, moves up to the heart. It's infused with this heart frequency, with the love, and then goes up to be expressed. Not just through the voice, expression. This part is expression, throat is expression. And so here it's important. There's many things, but just to make it more summarized, we have been taught to cut this channel. So the womb is cut from the heart because we are afraid to feel too much. We don't allow ourselves to feel pleasure and let it flow to the heart and then make this huge explosion and open us up and then let it travel up and just be expressed through us. We don't want to be too much. We don't want to be irrational. We don't want, people to disagree and attack us maybe on the internet. But I feel when we open, I've seen this many times and in myself, when we open these 3 points and we connect them and then we restore the organic flow that goes like this up and then circulates, then things just fall into place. They just fall into place because inside of us, we know We are encoded for this. We were born for this. We were born to do what is our mission, our purpose, our life. And yeah, so through this, what I call devotional embodiment, we actually restore the natural way within us. And then it just comes. We don't struggle to figure it out because we remember. Yeah.
It feels so good just even hearing about it. I'm sure the listeners too are just like, and that's so different. I think that's the part here that's just important to really feel, because as you talk about that, it's exactly it. It's here. It's natural. It feels grounded. It also still feels light. There's a movement, there's flow. It's really different than what we were talking about earlier, which is when we're working with just the higher realms, where it feels, it can feel blissful, but it doesn't feel here.
Yeah.
And it can feel not so flowy, because as soon as we come out of that, all of a sudden it's like, where am I? There isn't that connection and integration of all of the channels and of all of the energy and all of that, right? It's the disconnect is there in the absence of that integration. And all of a sudden things become less natural feeling. I love that you said that this is a natural state. This is what we came here to do. This is what our bodies are here to support us in doing, in being this beautiful vessel, if we allow them to.
Yeah.
We allow them to is the key.
Yeah. I feel this part is so huge for women, because we feel so much that we need to fit some templates from the outside. We need to be like this in order to be this. And what I say all the time in everything that I share is this: just like you are just remembering what is in you naturally. There comes this sigh of relief. Oh, so I'm okay. This is in me. I'm already okay as I am now. I always tell women in my containers, in the beginning, the first thing I say, you are welcome as you are. Come as you are. You will not ruin the frequency of the group if you are sad. No, come as you are. Just remember your body. Hold your body, be in your body, and come as you are. You can just say, I don't feel like sharing today. That's okay. Come as you are. Because when you are with what is alive for you, then you are in your central channel. Then things just present themselves. They just become clear. You don't need to look for them because you are in the center, in the channel.
It's such a different paradigm than this healing paradigm. Because I think when we begin, I need to heal this, I need to clear that. It feels like we're this never ending healing that becomes our purpose and our mission in this life. And it's no.
Yeah.
It's yes, there's that work that we need to do and the trauma and all of that. I don't think we can get around that. And also, it's just that remembrance that actually I'm fine as is. I can show up as is. And that's so powerful for us in our lives, in our relationships, and also in our work and in our business. We need to feel like we need to be at a certain place before we can have that relationship, or we need to be at a certain place before we can create that course or write that book. We always think we need to be out there, and we're like, I'm getting close, but I need to heal a couple more things.
Yeah.
As opposed to, no, it's already here. It's already here, and I'm already here. And can I just see that and allow for it to be perfectly imperfect, knowing that if it's calling me, now is the time.
Yeah.
And that I'll figure it out as I go. And that the codes are in there, the blueprint is in there, and we're just in the unfolding of it.
Yeah.
We don't need to see it. We just need to be in the unfolding of it. It's like a whole different paradigm of how we create.
Yeah, I love that, how you said the unfolding. And one thing just that I want to add here. So I call the embodiment work that I do, I call it devotional embodiment, because it's very much connected to our purpose, to our mission, and devotion is a big part of it. Devotion to yourself, to your body, to the highest good of all, to service, to your child, to your family. When you add devotion, I feel it nurtures you. It nurtures you, it changes your field. Yeah.
It's such, just you saying that just fills me with so much love. I think that's it. I think that's the ultimate bridge, right? We know when we're in our upper realms that everything is love and that we are love and we're blissed out. But then when we bring it into this place, into this embodiment, it becomes not just a lived, not just a knowing, it's all an illusion, we are love. It becomes a lived experience of this is me, as you say, also as a transmission and a living transmission of love, but also me as an embodiment of a person who is serving love out in the world, who is making that love manifest in the 3D through my creations, through how I relate with others, through my message, through my movement, through all of the things. It's like the love is not just up here now, it's so deeply embodied that it can't help but come out into the world and spill over. Like we can no longer just sit there thinking about the things that we want to do or want to create. It becomes like a natural extension of who we be. Of course, it's flowing out of me. Of course, every room I walk into, I bless. Of course, every conversation I have shifts somebody. Of course, every look I give is enough to inspire somebody to make a change in their life. Of course, because it's just so there in every cell and every bone. It's just so different.
That's it. And this is just coming to my awareness or consciousness now. So I'm going to share it. Something that I encountered when I was landing more and more into my body, when I really started to do these practices and I chose, I want to be here, I want to be in the body. My experience of spirit changed. It felt different. So in the beginning, it felt a little bit like I'm losing connection, but actually just the way that I was feeling it was different because I was more in the body. And then I noticed this with my clients when they started like being more in the body. So many of them said, I just feel like I'm not feeling anymore, these higher realms. And I said, well done. Like you are landing in the body. Your perception, the way you feel it, is just changing. It's different now that you are actually in the body. Yeah.
I love that you named that because I hadn't really seen that in myself, but I was just having a conversation actually with a dear friend of mine yesterday. And she was saying that she was doing a Kriya. She does a specific Kriya every single day. And I was having these flashbacks to when I was doing a specific Kriya every day. That was my practice I love to just meditate and just get in the space. And obviously I was working with my body too, but I would get in that place of feeling spirit so present and just have a bliss space. And I was like, okay, now I can go about my day. And I was reflecting on that and I was like, wow, my practice now looks so different. I don't even know where my practice begins and where it ends.
Yes.
It's like I roll out of bed and I brush my teeth and the practice is there and how I communicate with my child. He's now like a preteen, getting him in the car to go to school. Like that is my practice of how do I do that with love, but with truth, but with strength and power, but without control. Like it becomes these little micro things. And okay, how do I show up with my clients? And it's a different nuance.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's in the moment and it's not as glamorous or as blissful feeling. It's like,
Exactly.
oh, how do I create that space to check in? Okay, what is actually happening with politics right now? So I'm not completely disconnected. And then how do I process that? How do I feel that? How do I digest that in my stomach, in my body? How do I let the emotions flow through? Okay, I need to actually put on some sad music and let some tears flow because I can feel them in there, but they're not coming out.
Yeah.
And I can coach myself out of them, and I can meditate, I can bliss my way out of them. But it's no, like I feel them there in this corner. Maybe my left knee is there's tears that want to flow. How do I create space with? So I love how you said that. I love how you said that because it does feel different. It's not as glamorous.
Yeah.
It's like I can plug in as quickly anytime I want. I could just be like, oh, yes, I can do that at any moment. I love that. And also, what does it look like when I don't? When I'm the bridge, instead of being there myself, I know how to get there. How can I be the bridge of helping others be the bridge? As leaders, working with leaders, as mentors, working with mentors, how do we be the both? We got to be tapped into the both. That means we got to sometimes unplug from always being here to feel the both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just as you were saying, this something that I'm practicing, and it comes gradually, is just staying in that ever moving flow, movement of life. And yeah, and learning and feeling that in my body, to being present for higher realms and what is happening here, and just let it like exist at the same time, both, and the bliss and looking around or seeing some news, just practicing that, because this was something big for me that I encountered on my journey of embodiment. Being able to be sad and happy kind of at the same time. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so strange. I
Yeah.
don't think we're ever taught that we can.
No.
I think we're not taught that. And our body doesn't show us that because we get taken. We can
Yeah.
get taken by the sadness or we can get taken by the joy. But I'm thinking of that beautiful movie Inside Out. They're all there in our command center. Just one person takes the wheel, but the others are still there.
Yeah.
It's a completely different way of thinking about it. So I love that you share that.
Yeah, and what I have seen in me and my clients, where when we start just expanding that capacity of the body, of the nervous system to hold more of the difficult things, but also of the good stuff, and we start practicing holding both at the same time, like maybe I don't know what's going on and I'm so excited, that little bit of fear and excitement, and let it be in your body, like not pushing away one or the other, to dance with both. That's union for me. That's part of union inside. Yeah.
I thank you so much for coming and sharing with all the listeners and everybody a little bit about how you create. And also, I love that we've known each other for so long now that we can also reflect on the wave of how we create and how that's evolved. I'm really excited to see how that continues to develop for you and for your creations. And just so grateful that you came here and gave us a bit of a slice of a vision into your world. So
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
so
you for having me.
grateful. Yeah. And for everybody listening, we'll share Maja's links and contacts so that you can find her on social and hear about her beautiful offerings that she has so you can get a taste for her work. And you've already gotten a taste. You get the feeling immediately just by being in her field. But I do encourage you to check her out and to keep an eye out for Origin Priestess for whenever she is offering it. And Maja, thank you so much. And I will see everybody else on the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, love. Thank you for tuning in to the Miracle Zone. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a transmission. And if today's episode and conversation resonated, leave a review and share it with a fellow visionary leader. In the links, you can access my free Miracle Business Blueprint, the 7-part framework I use with my clients to create a thriving, scalable, and self-sustaining business that gives you more freedom, not less. Plus, you'll receive a guided process to identify where to focus first so you can spend more time leading in your miracle zone right away. Let's build the new as a collective for the collective. Together, we're not just creating miracles, we're living them. Until next time, stay in the miracle zone.